where could she be? And why didn't Elise react to this earlier? The child seems a lot better now, bless her, but I still wish she would look after her mother. If I'd have children myself, I would probably have been a terrible father, always absorbed in my work. Just like Lottie, we made a fine couple for that reason. I suppose it's not unlike Anna and Rutger. Maybe this is what we get in life. If we keep chasing work, we'll eventually end up chasing our loved ones. Or losing them. I don't care where the hell Rutger is, or what he is doing with that infernal Minotaur. Just, please, God, let me find my woman. This is Red Moon Roleplaying.
I put my hand to my mouth, clearly a little shocked and suddenly quite afraid that the dream, the silly dream, both things in the dream, and I start seeing if there's anything I can do. Is she alright? Is she dead?
When you check for a pulse, this is where you're supposed to check, right? Yeah. Yes, you think there's still a pulse.
I try and get her into a upright position. I think that's supposed to be good. But beyond that, my knowledge is very basic first aid, and I just sort of say, Mr. Young, call an ambulance immediately! Call an ambulance immediately, good man!
And I am almost halfway down the stairs. Yes, what's wrong? I start moving up and I go to do as he says.
You do, and you call an ambulance to come over here quickly.
I put the receiver down and I start going down the stairs again. Would you tell me what's going on, George?
Hearing you coming, I don't really say anything. I just sort of step up again, and I just sort of dumbly look around this room. What is this room? I can see Anna's here, covered in blood, but what's in the rest of this room?
It's just a storage room, it seems. Just things that have been kind of dumped here in this little room next to the carpenter's bench. There's some wood here, probably, that has been used for carpentry in the past, some tools. There's nothing of real importance here, nor is there anything that you think could really help you.
And I just don't say anything else until I imagine finally Fingal arrives in the room.
Fingal, you see Anna. She is being held by George. She's covered in half-dried blood.
Oh, Anna, no. I stumble up and I sink down on my knees and I try to look her over. Anna. Hello, Anna. I try to give her a little shake.
And you get the feeling that she is at least alive, but she is unconscious. And nothing that you do seems to be able to get her to wake up.
An ambulance is on the way. We will get help. You will get help. Don't worry.
And
Anna.
We got that scene there as the ambulance arrives. Elise is, of course, completely out of her. She's, of course, completely beside herself. She's crying, and she joins Anna in the ambulance. Fingal, you and George are left standing there. You know which hospital she's been taken to. You might be able to go join her at the hospital if you want, or what do you want to do now? Could it be that there's some anger in you about what has happened to her, or is there just grief, just panic?
Right now it's mostly worry for me. I see the ambulance go off. I need something to occupy my mind. I cannot wait. I look over at George. The Minotaur doesn't seem to be here, George. He must have, I don't know, he did what he did to her and then left. Perhaps she caught him red-handed or something.
I think that could be something like that, old man, something like that. What was that note you read?
Oh, it was just a meeting with Major Bratt.
Major Bratt?
Yes, he was, of course, he was interested. It's next Sunday, though, so it's nothing for now, but...
Well, we're not waiting till next Sunday. Where the hell is Major Bratt right now? I remember that they were all talking when we were leaving, all three of them.
You're right. We should involve the police. He has clearly done this to her, and he has let her be here. We should involve the police. We should contact all parties that are concerned, Major Bratt included, and we should make sure that we get this madman. I was seeing his notes up there. You wouldn't have believed it, George. It was absolute nonsense.
What? What do you mean?
Upstairs. I point and I start moving towards them.
And I'll go and find my way to the library, and I will begin looking over these fascinating notes.
Of course, this is someone who clearly appreciates the beauty of the Minotaur. You, of course, can still rationally see what's happening towards the end there, and that will force you to roll a sanity roll. Is that what's going to happen to you?
25 under 39.
No, not you. You're stronger than that.
Yes, I kind of trail off a little as I am reading these notes and seeming to be quite interested, but at one point I sort of freeze on maybe one of the final pages where he's just scrawled random words, and I just look at it quite concerned for a moment, but then I put it down and I say, yes, old man, you're quite right. Madness. I mean, maybe not initially, but definitely. No, he's our man. He's stolen the Minotaur. He's harmed his own wife over it. He's involving the Russians for some reason. I don't know why.
It is, yes. I don't know what the Russians are. I don't know if... Lots of military, isn't it? Major Bratt and this Popov fellow is military as well.
Yes, precisely. I don't know what's going on, but they're all involved. We should definitely call the police, but I feel we can't just stand idly by either. We've taken action before, and you know what? It actually worked. I say we track down Bratt now. Where does he live? Let's find where he lives, and let's go and have a word with him.
You, of course, have Major Bratt's address already from the notepad.
I say, I just start getting ready to leave the house, saying, Mr. Ljung, I appreciate that. If you wish to be with Anna, I would understand, but I'm heading to see Bratt right now. Get some answers.
You should be careful. These types are dangerous. You see what he did to poor Anna. We should involve the police, and we should go with them there, or maybe call Bratt first. Or I don't know. Maybe that's a bad idea. What if he's harboring him?
I've gone to the phone, having just said to call the police, and thinking this is all over in my mind, rationalizing. I put the phone down.
Well,
we need to go and talk with him. Come on, old man. Really, we have the notes not enough to implicate the Major at this point. The police aren't going to help us, not apart from maybe a cursory call, not until they have evidence, and we need evidence.
Yes, well, maybe you're right. Maybe we should just see Major Bratt while daylight is still upon us, and then... But let's not rouse too many suspicions, you know. If he warns Switker, maybe we'll never find him. We know that he was supposed to meet him on the 29th. So if we wanted to intercept him, that's where we should be. We should be there next Sunday. If we rouse suspicion now, maybe they'll call off the meeting.
You know, that's a good point. I have an idea. Let's pretend that we don't know anything. He wouldn't know it. We've been here yet, and... Let's pretend we're going to talk to him. I'm concerned about the death of Professor Cederblum and the ownership of the exhibition. Maybe I can pretend I've gone to speak to him and see if we can make a deal. After all, if they're making deals, maybe more finance would help. Yes, let's play a little bluff. I also, at this point, get a bit of a strange feeling. Have I noticed anything that looks like weaponry in this house? Probably not, but I just suddenly find my eye tracing the study and the rooms down below.
There's a shotgun on the wall.
Huh. I sort of just find myself looking at it. Does it look like it actually is like an antique shotgun or a modern 1920s shotgun?
Yeah, it looks fairly modern, early 1900s. It could probably fire if you found ammunition for it.
I find myself thinking how silly this all seems, because I'm pretty sure that if I was to carry that round on my person, it would be quite obvious, wouldn't it?
If it's a shotgun, if you were to have it in a weapons case, you could simply be a hunter going hunting.
Ah, weapons case. Is there one nearby?
Roll spot hidden and let's see if you can find a weapons case and ammunition in Wrangel's house.
60 over 50. We're going to spend another 10 luck points.
In that case, you do find both a nice little case for the rifle that makes it seem, well, perfectly harmless, like you have legitimate business carrying it around. And you also find a box of cartridges for the shotgun.
I look around the house as well to see if there is anything else that is of use or any other clues what Wrangel is up to, or any of these books that I might want to borrow.
Well, there's a lot of them are very, very interesting. The ones that are dealing with the esoteric.
If they leave it open, a silly idea, but no, maybe I will at that. And if he comes back, he'll have to face me, I suppose.
He will. So, you know where Brat lives. You have secured a shotgun. And what do you do now?
I simply load the shotgun. I actually know how to use a shotgun. Funnily enough, Father used to take me and my brother out for shooting practice when we were young. He actually did have a shotgun once. It's quite a funny weapon, really. I find myself a little confused as to why I'm getting this already, but I just have this feeling that, just in case, a military man like Brad, just in case he doesn't want to cooperate. And I just load the shotgun, put it safely in the case, and I'm carrying it just like it's a little carrying case, and I just meet Ljung outside saying, "Right, let's go and pay a little visit to the Major, and we're just going to chat and be all civil."
I have seen you, of course, preparing this shotgun and everything. It was in the room. And I don't make any remark about it. It's not completely strange, what with the violence that we've just seen today. And I agree with you, and we start heading off then towards Major Brat's apartment.
Yes, you start heading towards Major Brat's home. It's a whitewashed 2-story villa. There's 2 chimneys, a steeply sloping gable roof, a brick balcony that opens out towards Lake Magelungen, and there's a large yard that slopes down toward the water. A man-high wall obscures the view from the road, but you see that through the gate you can see that there's a garage, and there seems to be a sports car in that garage. There's a lawn and apple and pear trees. The gate is a little bit open, so you can sort of see through it. He appears to be home, at least.
As we've been driving here, I've calmed myself and actually still feel quite with it now that we're out in the air and I have this weapon. So I say to Mr. Ljung, "Well, Mr. Ljung, shall we go and say good morning?"
I look at the house and the place, and I just nod gravely. Yes, let's do that. Let's see how he reacts when he finds out the Minotaur is gone.
Yes. Should we tell him that?
I think it's fair knowledge. I mean, that would be a fair reason why we're here, isn't it?
That's a good point. Let's play dumb. Let's approach him as if we are looking for his help in solving all this.
Yes. I mean, you want it for your exhibition, and I am accompanying you.
Very well, then. I carry the case with me, sort of holding it, much like a briefcase. And I, with Mr. Ljung at my side, will go and knock gently on the door.
Oh, you knock at the door, and it takes a little while, and the door then opens, and that's Major Brat standing right there. He's wearing a jacket, and you see that there's some travel bags in the entrance by him. Oh, Mr. I forgot your name. Crane, was it?
Yes, that's right, Major Bratt. So sorry to be disturbing you, unannounced. We haven't interrupted anything, have we?
Oh, no. I was just on my way to a little trip to the summer house, you know. Do come in. Mr. Ljung, you're here as well?
Yes, good day, Mr. Bratt. Major Bratt. Is that the right title?
It would be, in the service of the king. I always enjoy talking to fellow scholars. Why don't you come in?
Thank you. But I look over to George to take the lead here.
So you're standing there in the entrance, and you have your case with you, and you still have your boots and everything on. And he says, "Oh, put your coats and are you going hunting?"
Well, maybe later. Actually, I was on a little planned trip myself with Mr. Ljung. We were going to go to the Swedish countryside, but again, what's happened is unfortunately far more pressing. I thought of all the people to inform, you needed to be informed. The Minotaur, it's gone missing from the museum.
What? What's going on? First, this awful thing with the professor, and the Minotaur is gone.
I try to gauge his reaction if his surprise is genuine.
Roll psychology.
I roll 42 over 10.
He does look genuinely surprised at this thing that you're telling him. He's difficult to read, though. I mean, military men, they always seem to have the same look on their face. Everything is gravely serious, you know?
Yes, but maybe he doesn't know yet. Maybe he truly didn't know, and maybe that was what Rutger wanted to reveal to him. Yes. I think to myself, and I take my coat off.
And he says, well, let's not stand here. Come inside and let me at least offer you a drink. I wouldn't be much of a host otherwise. We can talk about it up in my study.
And I'll enter, and I will take off my coat, and I will for now just put the case to the side.
You do, and he leads you up into his study. It's a lot of books in here as well, and he's got a big oak desk. He seems to be quite well off. Not that uncommon for an officer. He brings out a fine bottle of scotch and some beautiful crystal glasses for you. And here, and then he pours a drink for each of you. Would you like some cigars as well?
No, I'm all right, thank you. I'm trying to cut back a little. I've been a bit unwell lately.
Oh, it's good for your health, they say, smoking.
That's true for this. Yes, maybe no drink, but yes, just a cigar.
Oh, of course. He gives you a cigar, and what about you, Fingal? Do you accept both, or?
I usually don't really drink or smoke much these days at all. But I don't want to be rude and uncivil. I suppose I accept both, and I'll just very slowly sip and puff a little on the cigar.
Yes, and he brings up his glass to you. For the king.
For the king.
For the king.
He downs it. So now, what, you're saying that the Minotaur is gone? That someone is taking it?
Yes, precisely. The museum have double-checked, and I'm pretty sure that they would have let us know if the incident was less serious, but I went there myself this morning to check on it, and it is gone. And, well, I don't need to tell you that the amount of people who had access to the cabinet and the exhibition, well, one's dead, and, well, I haven't taken it, and I highly doubt you have as well, Major.
Yes, I wouldn't have access to it anyways. Do you have any idea of who would take it?
No. I sit there. I'm comfortable, and I busy myself with what I have in my hand.
Yes, it's a fine cigar and a fine glass of scotch. So you're feeling pretty good.
Well, honestly, I'm a little at a loss myself, Major. That's why I thought I'd come to you. I know the exhibition was important to yourself, and that you were connected to several individuals, who do you think it would be?
Well, I couldn't imagine that it would be anyone from the people behind the exhibition. I mean, it must surely be someone from the outside.
Must be someone from the outside, yes.
I would have suspected
probably.
Yourself, perhaps, a foreigner, you can't... No offense, but,
Oh, none taken. Of course, I am a foreigner, but dear me, I don't think I'd be on the suspect list. I'm pretty sure I have an alibi. You saw me leaving quite ill on the day. Remember?
He smiles at that. Yes, I do remember that.
Now, Mr. Crane here has an interest in taking the exhibition to London, of course, and now with the professor having passed away, he was very worried that it would fall into hands and that would just slip between the seats and someone else would get the rights before him. So this is why he rushed to the museum and found it gone all of a sudden.
Indeed.
Do you know who will take over the responsibility of the exhibition now that the professor is passed?
I suppose it would be Wrangel or Dr. Bernhardsson, perhaps? One of the two?
Ah, Dr. Wrangel. Yes, well, we were, planning to see him. And I step over and smile, a charming smile. But let's just say that I'm quite keen to make sure the exhibition is back on track and the Minotaur is safe, and I would really appreciate anyone who helped. In fact, I'd even be willing to renegotiate. After all, my original negotiations were with Professor Cedarblum, and, well, he's no longer going to be negotiating.
Oh, well, of course, yes. Well,
maybe we should call Mr. Wrangel or visit his place. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. For some reason, I just knew that you were so interested yourself, and it's the Russian fellow, the Mr. Popov.
Yes, Mr. Popov. Yeah, I met him at the exhibition. A very nice gentleman. Did you meet him as well?
Yes, I did. We talked for a little bit. He spoke in Norwegian, of all languages.
That he did. I couldn't quite figure out exactly why he was interested in all this, but he seemed quite nice. Myself and Wrangel had a nice conversation with him at the exhibition, and well,
yes, I forgot to express my condolences. One of his countrymen was murdered, wasn't he? Recently.
Oh, I did read about that. Yes, some unfortunate business at Aselinsbacken. Someone from the embassy getting shot.
Yes, something like that. I should know more about it. Do you know more about it?
No, when you say that you don't know much about it, you see that he seems to relax a little bit. No, I don't think that Popov would cry any tears about one of the Reds being killed. Neither do I, for that matter. I fought them for 10 years, both in Finland and in Russia. If I can be quite frank with you, and he takes a sip of his scotch. If I can be quite frank with you, I'm quite happy that he's dead. They should all be dead, actually.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. I didn't know this person. I didn't know what he was doing. Do you know? Is he involved in something shady in the country?
They're all up to no good, those Bolsheviks. They might have won for now, but this will not last.
But yes, I don't know. Call me mad, Major. But Wrangel, he was very unkeen to have this exhibition happen, wasn't he? I don't think he wanted the Minotaur going anywhere. I think he wanted it back in his own personal collection.
He's a bit of an idiot. In that sense, he was really obsessed with that piece.
I suppose we're going to all have to go and see Wrangel then. I think the police will need to be involved. It'd be a shame if the wrong people got accused of such things, though. I have a feeling this could get very messy.
That certainly doesn't sound great. I mean, Wrangel, he should probably be locked up. But do you want a refill? And he begins to move to get the bottle of scotch again.
I'm fine. But what I'm saying,
and he's starting to pour up a refill.
If there's anything you know, please let us know. It's important.
And he turns around, and he is pointing a gun at you. Ah, it really is too bad that it would have to end like this. Now, move. Emotions for you to move.
Major, I
Shut the hell up, man. Move. And he moves to sort of point you to walk towards the entrance hall and towards what you see there, which is stairs down towards the basement.
Ah. All right, old man, all right. You've got us clear and crystal. I put my hands up. I start very slightly, trying my best just to think. How far is it to the goddamn coat stand where I put the case?
The thing is, it's inside the case, and the case is closed. You wouldn't be able to get it open unless he was completely distracted for quite a while. He's got a gun right on you, and you haven't fired that much, right? I mean, you've done some shooting. This is a man who does this for a living. He is probably extremely dangerous. You had better think about what you do next very carefully.
God damn it, I feel like such a fool. I should have just come up with the gun. I knew it. He's in on it. But I feel my inexperience, and I just smile and begin stepping down the stairs. Well, Mr. Young, we probably should do what the Major's telling us to do.
He motions for you to move down the basement stairs. Do you do that?
I move, and as I go, I try to plead. Please, we have no interest in this. We can forget about all this that has happened.
You will. I do not worry about that. Now, get down there.
I'm now realizing that this is it. This is how I die. This is the end of the road for me. And I feel a cold sweat. I feel numb. I feel like now death is coming. There's nothing I can do. He will get away with this because of his position. I just hope Anna is well. And if I shall pass, then this is it.
And you stand on the stairs down to the basement, and he closes the door behind you, and you hear how it's locked and how it's blocked. And then you hear movement, and you're standing inside this dark basement stair.
I listen for a bit. He's leaving us here.
Seems like he has. There's something, though, not complete quiet. There's something coming from further down in the basement.
I start fumbling about for a light switch or something to help me.
There's a lantern here by the door.
Is it not lit?
No,
but
it's not lit, but you could light it if you have a lighter.
Do you have your lighter, George?
Yes, I have my lighter, and I sort of extend the lighter out, muttering under my breath, "Bloody Major, smug bastard."
Yes. I wonder if it's all connected. He seemed a bit too relieved when I mentioned I didn't know about the Russian that had been murdered, but...
It's all connected, Young. It's all connected. You were right. All three of them probably are trying to take the Minotaur, maybe sell it to some Russian buyer. I don't know.
We're all done for, George. We're all done for. Why did we get our hands into this? We shouldn't have come here.
I should have kept the shotgun with me. I kind of lower the lighter just to see a bit more of the stairs going down, I suppose.
And I hold up the lantern for you to light it so I can hold that.
And you light the lantern, and you start to see a little bit more what's down here now. It's a stair that goes down into what seems to be a fairly normal basement, really. You can hear something coming from further down. Voices. Singing. There are several voices singing down there.
Someone else down here. I look to the door. I imagine it's quite sturdy, but I'm trying my best just to see if we had a tool. Surely there must be a way of jimmying the lock.
Someone is singing down there. Do you hear that, George?
Yes, I do. It's a little strange. We need to focus. We need to find something to get this door open. He obviously hasn't killed us because he realizes that if he did right here in his own home, the police... He doesn't know the police, how much the police know. So obviously...
The strangest thing is... And I start moving down.
Yes, you start moving down, and Crane, you're of course looking around for tools or something that could help you in getting this door open. You don't see anything big enough right here that might help you, but who knows, maybe there's a crowbar or something down there. You have no real option but to continue down and look, because up here, the door doesn't budge at all. It is obviously blocked very, very heavily and locked and blocked, and yes, it's going to be very tough to get open.
I find myself starting to head down the stairs, thinking we've only been spared because those travelling bags. Clearly Major Bratt is about to leave. Go somewhere for a while, lay low, so... I don't think he'll be above anymore, so if we could just get out. I will head down, following after Ljung, hearing this singing and feeling very ill at ease.
Yes. The room is dark. The lantern starts to fade as you go down there, as if something is devouring the light of it. There is something down here, though. Something of stone. Is that... You know, archaeology. That's an altar. There's something piled on top of the altar. You think you see the color red? And it smells of rot here.
Oh, I hold my nose.
And you see where the singing is coming from. The lantern, the light returns for just an instant, and you see rotting human heads and dried skulls staring at you with empty eye sockets. And 3 of the skulls, they seem to sing, and your minds are filled with visions of other places, other worlds. Roll for sanity.
I roll 40 under 59.
22 under 39.
And you both lose 1 sanity. And an icy wind blows in from where? There's no wind that could come in here. Why is it so cold? Behind this altar, a shape appears. A figure, as though it was created from this darkness. Whatever this creature is made up of, the skin of it, it is crawling.
I nigh on drop the lamp. George, we have to get out of here, I say, and I start making to leave, get back up the stairs, to bang the door, to beg for mercy.
It is made of insects, and the creature is clumsily and slowly walking towards you.
Stay back! Stop!
I begin frantically looking around for anything. Not the heads, not this altar, but a tool, a stone, a rock. We need something.
There's the skulls.
I hardly think that's going to help get me through the door, but I don't have time. I grab a skull.
You grab a skull and you notice as you're holding it how the mouth is moving and it's singing, and you cannot hold it. You find yourself dropping it. And the creature is moving closer and closer. And the insects sort of shoot out from it, covering you in insects. Roll 1d4 each.
3.
1.
Crane, you take 3 hit points in damage. And Fingal, you take 1.
I begin to scream, not just from the pain of these strange biting insects, but the concept of them. I can feel them crawling into my mouth, crawling into my eyes, crawling into my ears. Flying insects. I hate insects. And I just begin barreling up the stairs, trying to ram the door. I'm in pain and I need to get out of here now. And I just start ramming on the door again and again and again.
I flail about with the lamp. I try to get them off of me, and I throw the lamp at the mass of the figure.
You throw the lamp at it, and you don't quite see what happens. The light, disappears. It is as if this creature, the darkness around it just eats all the light. And you feel these insects, how they're biting you, how they're eating you piece by piece. They will devour you. They will pick your bones clean. You're banging on the door, Crane. Roll a strength. I want you to do an extreme success in order to be able to make any kind of difference here.
That, unfortunately, is a 50 over 7.
You keep on banging on the door. Fingal, what do you do? Are you going to try and help him to try and open the door, or what are you doing?
I am frantically flailing about with all these insects, and it's the pain, and I'm just filled with the thought that I'm going to die. But I'm following him, albeit clumsily, and I go up and I try banging on the door. I try pleading, please let us out of here. And
you can also roll a strength check to see if you're able to get the door to budge in any way.
Let us out. Let us out. That's 67 over 6.
Then you can both roll one more d4 for damage.
1.
2.
And you're banging away at the door, and then at the same time you feel how these insects are everywhere biting you. You don't think you can go for the door anymore. What do you do?
The skulls, we must destroy the skulls. I can't take this singing. I start fumbling my way through all the insects, trying to get through there. It's dark now. I can't see anything, so I fumble in the dark, trying to get over to these skulls to smash them.
You're fumbling around in the dark, and you end up falling. Take 1d4 damage.
2.
And you hit your head quite badly into the side of the altar.
I feel that all is lost, and I am filled with this anger, this fury. It overrides my fear, but all it does is I stumble behind Ljung in the dark. I find myself touching this altar, and I just think, surely there's only one thing I can do. I bite down on my hand to spill some blood. I put it on the altar, and I just start screaming, Shining King! Shining King! Save your disciple! Shining King! Save your disciple!
And you hear sound coming from the door, as if someone is moving the heavy things, and you can hear the sound of a key opening a lock. What do you do?
I mean, I just, at that sound, just barrel for the stairs. Barrel for the door.
Roll 1d4 damage.
2.
You take 2 damage. Same for you, Fingal.
2 as well.
And they continue biting you. You don't have long left now. You make it up to the stairs, Crane. What about you, Fingal? Have you also tried to move over there, or are you still down there?
I'm an old man. I fell over and I hit my head on the altar, and I barely perceive the sound. I notice the scuffling of bodies, but I don't see anything because it's completely dark now. I think, like, without any other coercion, I will sort of just lie there and roll up in a fetal position.
There is light coming from the door to the basement, and there is a figure on the other side. It's dark and you can't see who it is, but the light that shines in, the insects, they leave you. They flee. And the light reaches down to you where you're sitting as well, Fingal, on the floor there. You see how you can get out now. You need to stay away from the darkness, but if you stay in the light, maybe, just maybe.
I stumble up. I try to get on my feet, and I half walk, half stumbled towards the light.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying where we played the Kingshaven Minotaur for Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. This adventure was written by our friends Gunilla, Jonsson and Petersen for the Swedish edition of Call of Cthulhu that is published by the fantastic folks at Eloso Publishing. The music is from the Cthulhu, Nyarlathotep, Yog-Sothoth, Shub-Niggurath and Azathoth compilations by our friends at Cryochanger. Check them out at crychamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more game music for your table. We've also used the official soundtrack for the Swedish version of Call of Cthulhu, composed by none other than our friend Andreas Lundström from Sweden Rolls. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, and David Hagberg for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Infinite Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. And remember, that is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange eons, even death may die.